reaction, still in the fight, still alive, but for how much longer? Finally spotted, finally handled by Bensu around the edge, but there's backup, potentially slowing down things for Box Gaming, and Pika's gonna have to heal. 13 first aids, down to 12 now. That looks like they're gonna heal out in the zone for Stall. Are going to be there, so a little bit of time there. Damar also looking to heal out, but this is the last first aid kit for Team Falcons. It looks like a 5th place finish, unless someone goes down first, unless someone gets spotted. Diego eliminated out there. Still one player left for Vivo Key, but Box Gaming trying to roll down this hill against Morph. With 3 eliminations, they've been fairly quiet so far on that tally. But they're going to have to try and fight off against Box descending. Some nice angles. Bensu spotted, handled. Another knock on the backlines. Looks like this is going to be Morph all the way.
Oh
as they
my
spot
God.
yet another, and they are going to be able to take control of this zone. It's only the players out of sight that will be proving to be problematic in terms of finishing this game out. Cielo for Vivo Keyed and Pika for Stalwart Esports.
Morph will take those 6 eliminations and a chicken dinner any day of the week. Pika tries to jump into the blue, but won't quite make it in time as he falls. And Vivo
Hang on a minute.
will take...
What
the
Hello?
hell?
Wait a minute. Oh, finally spotted. It looked a little bit dangerous there, but 3 of them go down. In the end, the last player stands up, and Morph take control. They take the chicken dinner.
What just happened? I'm not, honestly, that just does not happen. I was not prepared for it. Well done, Vivo Key. That came out of nowhere for that team, but Morph will take 20 points, which should send them pretty far up the leaderboard from 18th place. But that was a win that they desperately needed. I think if any team wanted it, it was 18th place, and that'll put them in good stead for the future. The rest of the teams, though, you know, is still stalwart, putting up those consistent points throughout the entirety of this tournament so far. No flashy wins, but those can still come later on.
And good news for the teams trying to chase down the vampires, right?
Yeah.
They did not have the greatest performance in this game. They didn't have the sort of performance that we've come to expect from them in these first 2 games. I mean, sure, right? It's only 2 games that we've seen from them, but that first game was so spectacular. I'm sure everyone's still thinking about it. This one, not so much. Sandhawk, maybe not their strong suit.
No, not at all. I mean, I think that my biggest sadness was the fact that Nick Mechanics, he goes out with 0 points. This was meant to be your map, guys. And honestly, it just does not come to fruition here. There is a fair few teams that are starting to really solidify their place towards the top. Obviously, we have 2 extra days. Tune in for them. They're going to be very, very exciting regardless. But that is where things really do start to take root. It's where you have those consistent matches. And I think that keeping yourself in range to the top side is very, very important. And Box and Stalwart currently doing that.
Absolutely. We'll be looking for more of that action, more progression, more solidarity from the rest of the teams. We're going to go to a short break. Back to the desk after.
مع التحديث الجديد لستي سي بلاي تجربة جديدة للكل. لو جوك دايم تحديات نافس وانضم للبطولات. استكشف الشات والتايم لاين وتسوق من متجر التطبيق. الليدر بورد على تفاعلك بالتطبيق، والجوائز الأسبوعية والشهرية على نظام النقاط تنتظرك. STC Play، مهما كان جوك هذا محلك.
Lights out, lights out, lights out. We back in it, ain't no pretending. We hit and get it, we hit and win it. We back in it, ain't no pretending. We hit and get it, we hit and win it. We hit and win it. We hit and win it.
I don't think anyone was as happy as Indonesian talent here in Saudi Arabia as you heard them screaming, seeing Morph take home the victory over on Sandhawk. But you know what? They got the victory. They finally got themselves off the bottom of the table. I believe they had 0 points going into that match, if I'm not mistaken, and able to get themselves through a little bit more. Really quickly, though, as we do want to talk about STC, as we have to thank them here for obviously sponsoring the event, but also sponsoring our match standings. Let's just dive straight into that one and see how many points all the teams did get for themselves. And Max, I know you're also going to be happy because look at place number 2.
Place. Oh, I'm happy with place number 2 and place number 3. Like both of them, I'm feeling really happy about that. But Viva Kita has been relatively consistent when it comes to securing those points. Same for Stalwart. But Morph, really the main thing, Kalash, to allow them to get this win is keeping the options open in the early game and making really good decisions based around the circle right and getting that position very early on.
Yeah, I like their split across Camp Charlie as well as the other 2 locations they have south of that and north of that to just act as anchor points for them to transition into the next stages. Obviously, they regrouped on Rocky that you kind of identified whilst that was going on. It's a great spot because it's just south of Cave. You don't have to worry about anybody south of you because there's water there. And west and east, you've got a nice high ground position to be able to scout from. So already you're giving yourself a great launching point into the next stages of this game when it can be kind of difficult to get scouting information on Sandhawk. So this gave them a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And also they were able, by doing so, having that position where Rocky was, right, to gatekeep teams that were trying to potentially cross that bridge. It didn't happen in that scenario, but if it did, they were prepared for it. So good stuff. Then I'm looking at the rankings. One team that, I think this is the first time we see them on this first page here, or on the only page we look at, is actually 4 Rivals, right? They've been going out very early in both first games, so like we're actually seeing a little bit more step up from the Malaysian side, so good to see.
Well, I am looking through this list here, and I know, Claris, you brought this up in the last match. We are seeing, I believe it's Claris, maybe Max Man. I'm always seeming to be really bad with giving credit to people when they say good
Claris,
things.
you know?
If it's a good point, it's me.
Okay. Max Man, you pointed this out extremely well in the last game. There's a big divide here between like 4th and 5th place when it comes to points, right? We're seeing 13 down to 7. That's, you know, almost half the points allotted right there. And we are starting to see this quite consistently that like the top 5, maybe top 6 teams are just getting a huge portion of the total points in a lobby.
Yeah, I think it's because if you get a really good position in these circles, you got like 2 extra teams technically that have a chance to come your way. So like a good position can be rewarded so much more in terms of eliminations alone. And in this case, you saw that with Vampire in particular. Like they had a good spot and they really made it work for them. So I think teams that can play around those spots like are going to be heavily rewarded.
Okay, let's take a look at our round report here really quickly and see who stood out across the board. And Diego, my man, 5 eliminations, most amount of damage, 2 grenade elims as well is fantastic to see.
Right.
But we have seen, if I'm not mistaken, Stalwart now at least 2 matches in a row be the longest elim. Thinking back to that prize pool, Eagle Eye.
I mean, he is looking pretty good, Diego, right now. Like, normally Dora is looking for things like he finds you, Diego. Like, he will find you right away. So he's been roaming around the map and really...
Okay.
You get it? It took some time to get it.
Yeah, I was like, Dora. I don't remember there being a player named Dora.
As you were saying with Eagle Eye, longest elim for a top. The fact that he already, before this, had the longest elim at 395 meters and now has...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, another one on the bot. I mean, it's Sandhawk, so it's not going to really compete with the Erangel or Miramar eliminations and stuff like that, but he's constantly showing that he's great at range, even on Sandhawk, a map that is renowned for the close quarters battles that you see ensue. Hence, we keep hearing DBSs everywhere. I'm so happy we keep hearing DBSs everywhere, by the way.
Oh, I remember from every PMPL. Every time we saw it come out. But to be fair for Vivo, and to talk about them here in particular about Keed, is that this is like their first LAN, first international event as well. And they do get themselves a second place finish here on Sandhawk. And that has to be like a nice sigh of relief for them, for their fans as well. Take some pressure off of them so they can maybe now flourish further on into our later matches.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at all of the Western regions, I think you have two regions that really stand out a lot from like the rest, and that is going to be, you know, you've got the Turkish side, and also you have Brazil/Latam that are kind of like together in some way. And the thing that they lacked was that international experience, playing in international events like that. But I think that when you're looking at the team and how they play, they are willing to be aggressive. They're not willing to give away spots for free. I think that type of mentality, if it works right, can work on this stage. And I think that so far they have been rewarded to some extent, and intrigued to see if that can keep on going as the event goes on.
Taking a look at our Sony highlights here, we're starting things off with Omega for Team Seoul, and again, we haven't really been able to talk too much about them, and it's kind of unfortunate thinking back to PMGC where we had Godlike playing, and they only had one good match, which is the very last match of the entire event where they got a chicken dinner. But to be honest, it looked like Nova just kind of gave it to them, to be fair.
At least in this situation as well, though, going up against RSG, you know, seeing Seoul getting a few eliminations here and there, it's nice against them. To look at the flip side of that battle, I just think RSG is having a bit of a harder time adapting to this lobby because they have the most extreme shift in playstyle and lobby size, etc. In format, yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Coming into this tournament. Obviously in China, 15-team lobbies, you've got yourself extra elimination points early on, which can play nicely to their playstyle. Now it's very different here for them. Not a great start for them. They need to adapt faster than we're seeing them at the moment.
Especially when like PL is happening like right before this event and right after it's going to continue, right? So you don't, they need to adapt specifically for this event in such a narrow window of time and then go back to their old playstyle. Like it is very complicated to deal with.
It's a big change.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big change, but at least for them, right, thinking ahead towards maybe PMGC, this is their first little chance to dip their toes into the water of what global PUBG Mobile is about. And we're obviously going to find out when we get to PMGC if they do qualify, first of all. But to be honest, only Nova out of the Chinese teams out of PEL has been able to really impress us. I mean, we did see 4 Angry Men, to be fair. But they didn't really... Now, 4 Mini Man's a different team. 4 Angry Men.
4 Angry Men.
But they didn't really make it count where it mattered in the finals.
I think Nova does a good job of adapting over a long-form tournament in internationals. Every time we've seen kind of Nova... Well, the majority of times we've seen Nova on internationals, you get long-form, a few weeks here and there. Sometimes they have a bit of a harder time. Yeah, sometimes they have that little vacation, you know, doing what they can. But then later on, they come out blasting after accumulating as much information as possible. You can't do that here. It's not going to be possible. You're going to have to go back, just have 2 nights worth of review from day to day. That's not long. They need to be very quick to adapt.
And if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't a ton of scrims as well to like learn about what your opponents can do here going into this event. But you know what? We haven't been able to take a look at this all day, but luckily we're going to have the chance to. Let's actually dive into our overall standings to see where all of our teams currently do sit. Vampire, I'm expecting to be first place, but not by much.
Yeah, I mean, that gap is closing, and mainly because you're looking at Stalwart. They've been, like, around top 3 every single game, consistently up there. Still not able to convert that chicken dinner. I think it's bound to happen eventually.
So are they going to end in 7th then?
Hopefully not. I don't want to jinx on the 7th position again, but Stalwart are still clearly in race, and they're heating up to the lobby here.
It's a huge reason why we have been looking at this team as one of the big favorites to win it, right? 30 placement points over 3 games where they've not been able to get themselves a chicken dinner is extremely, extremely impressive here already. And we know that they have the fragging capabilities to be able to push in those eliminations as well. Yes, Vampire started off with a big one, but now they just got 1 point off the back of this after losing out an early fight against a previous chicken dinner winner. So, yeah, my eyes are still on Stalwart. And actually, all things considered as well, with no actual chicken dinner yet, Box Gaming, I feel like as the tournament's going to go on, if they can hold down some positions, I think they'll be able to convert some big points too.
Well, I mean, that's the hope, right, coming in from is that they don't have a lot of elims, and that kind of worries me. I know we talk a lot about that sweet marriage of elims to placements.
Which is actually surprising when you think about it. The Stalwart are in 2nd with like twice as many placement points than eliminations, knowing that this tournament with 18 teams per lobby would be a lot more elimination like focused, right? So it is impressive that they've been able to make it work out. Though heading on over to the 2nd page, we see some teams that have been a little bit topsy-turvy here. And 4 Rivals were able to catch up a little bit. I mean, all of these teams, right, is only 3 games. 1 good game, you're on the 1st page. Anyone can still make it. Yeah,
10 elims for 4 Rivals. There's a slight outlier here compared to the rest in some of this page as it does stand. But again, I think you've still... In PUBG Mobile, you've got to be hyper-aware of both scenarios. You need those placement points. You need those elims. And some teams ain't getting much.
Like Nigma.
We got 52 esports coming from Pakistan. They didn't get a single chicken dinner, actually, to get here today.
We've seen Nigma Galaxy, though, have rough times in the past and then bounce back. So, again, not too worried just yet, but again, short form tournament, sometimes it's very different to the long form.
Exactly, like in a PMPL, like you have one bad day, it's like, oh, it's fine, you got 18 show days in total.
Yes.
Like, look in here, that's 1/3 of your potential points, like down the drain instantly. You can't afford to have this day continue. We need to see Nigma Galaxy, like, I would say, bounce back right now.
Yeah.
What about a virtual gaming squad? I mean, we don't really know what to expect out of them. Of course, the region for Africa, but we got to see a couple of glimpses, but they haven't been able to, like, strand that together into a good run yet.
So I had the chance to talk to Alpha Luigi actually, and the way they're taking this tournament is a big learning curve. Like, they want to learn as much as they can, and they're just very excited to be here, which I can understand. I don't think their team just like, we're going for first place. Which, of course, I think that should be the mentality for every team, but they just want to take as much information, prepare for the next season.
Plus, if you want to talk game specific, Erengel's the biggest portion of our battlegrounds that we go on here, and their first Erengel started off catastrophically. Now, if we get themselves a different playing path, maybe we can see them actually convert a few more points here or there and allow that playing path to even just give them the drop spot they want, because we've only had one Erengel so far.
Here's a quick question for you two, completely off topic. Max, are you good at basketball?
No, I'm actually absolutely horrible.
Cloris, are you good at basketball?
No, I'm about 3'12", so absolutely not.
That does explain a lot of things. I'm used to be good at basketball. We're going to find out how good our TJ be at basketball, and we'll be back here in just a few moments. Okay, that's not fair. He had to chase the ball and lost time. I mean, you got to think ahead of time. You know, you might miss, but don't miss so badly that you have to run after the ball and replay.
They did us proud in one of the games where they won, but now they've just represented us terribly when it comes to the basketball. I can't believe it. But then again,
keep them in line, you know?
Are European teams that renowned for basketball? It's mostly the Americans that are pretty good at this, no?
Yes.
Come on, as an honorary American,
I mean,
tell us. I don't know.
I haven't been in America and lived in America in over 10 years.
You're tall. You're supposed to be good at basketball because you're. Is that how?
Those are the rules. Yeah.
Those are the rules.
If you're above like like 6 foot, like you're supposed to be good.
Yeah.
I don't like these stereotypes. 6 foot's not that tall for basketball. Are you kidding me?
Tall.
Do you know the current like height of basketball players is like 6'7"?
Okay. You're taller than 6 foot.
Stop finding excuses.
I'm not 6'7". And that 6'7" is like a short player. But anyways, let's talk about these teams here. We did get to see your overalls a little bit, and you're talking about how Enigma, they need to step up. I was wondering, like, obviously this is kind of their home region, right? Obviously, I think they're from Iraq, so not necessarily from Saudi Arabia, but this is a lot of pressure for them to perform when it's like their home turf. And I wonder if that might be getting to them.
I think that can be right. You got the offline event buff, and you also got the nerf from the offline events, right? That could be happening. Is the pressure can be getting to them? Like, you know that over there you're gonna have a lot of Falcons fans, you're gonna have a lot of Enigma Galaxy fans. You don't want to disappoint, but when you start like having a bad roll of games, it can just snowball into a really negative effect. So hopefully they can pick themselves back up, and they don't have a lot of time to do so. So we need to see results like very soon.
I also just saw the playing path.
I don't know if that's actually the one we're sticking with.
I
think that's a replay of match 1 of today.
But that's actually a little bit of a problem in a short form tournament if you do get even just 2 not easy Erengel playing paths as a whole. That already kind of puts a little bit of a thorn in your side.
Okay.
Let's be real.
If this is actually, I know you guys at home can't see this, but if this is actually staying true to what we're seeing, this also means that Vampire could have another ridiculous game.
Same rotation. Like, they do the same thing in the same circle. It could work out.
I mean, sure, it's very, very game-specific to game-specific, depending on how things go as a whole. But yeah, I mean, we will see how that does go down. Because they started down in Primos with that kind of split. They played it very well. They're able to get those wide rotations. And notably, actually, on Erengel, our first Erengel, there was quite a few teams in the pack going for the wide rotates. And I'm a big fan of that because it just allows you to look for those better entry points compared to smashing your head into a wall and not making anything happen with it.
It's cool to see that all the teams are willing to put extra extra thought behind like their rotation and really trying
Yeah,
to find
yeah.
the best entry point. Goes to show the
macro
homework
play.
has been done, and they're willing to like aim for the better position in every circle. So we'll see. But if that circle is real, which it seems like right now it is, like sorry, the plane path.
I am hearing it's a rehost, so that's not actually.
Okay, it's not real. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So way to take all that analysis and throw it
Fine.
in the
You-
trash.
I'm gonna be
Relax.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of happy it's a regame because 2 plane paths that same very
Southern
very
side.
southern
Yeah,
plane
okay. I was gonna
path.
say, no one at home has any idea what the plane path is. We didn't mention it, but I'm glad
Well,
you
if they
mentioned
watched game 1, we were like, oh, it's kind of like game 1. But yeah, so for very, very southern plane paths, obviously, like that lends itself a little bit to those military teams. Even though there's only 2 of them right now in terms of Wildcats as well as Stalwart that are kind of moseying over towards Novo area. But even then, the circle can still shift hard north, and you have to make those
Yeah.
wide rotates, which are also important, especially on Erangel for the macro play.
And I think one thing we really need to take into account for this Orangle in particular, this is our second Orangle. So that means teams that had a little bit of a rough first drop, bad first rotation, they are going to be able to learn from that and just bring that to the table in this second Orangle. So that hot drop you had from Virtual Gaming Squad on Box Gaming normally shouldn't happen. Some weird
Yes.
hot drops that were happening in other compounds should not happen. So this one should be our first normal game technically, where not really, you got 18 teams in the lobby still, but it should be at least a little bit easier for teams to adapt to it.
You just had to go there. First normal game. Wait till we get the rehost, and you're gonna see the plane path south again. Gonna be the utter
If it
shits.
happens, I'll be like, well, I
Okay.
mean, you know, that's how it's going to go.
Well, I want to give you guys something to think about while we watch a video. What is your favorite type of donut? And I bring that up because we're going to be actually taking a look and learn a little bit more about Team Donuts. We'll be back here in just a second.
そうですね、自分たちのチームの特徴としては、チーム内日本の中でもやっぱりファイト力だったりがやっぱり他のチームよりは優れています。チームの中で一番強い選手ですかね。そうですね、やっぱり IGL として活躍している、ミサイルもいるんですけど、やっぱり自分は国内のリーグで MVP を取ったっていうのはありますし、やっぱりそれなんか。
Well, I hope you guys have been brushing up on your Japanese, watching your animes. Max, could you translate everything? Because I know you're quite a connoisseur of anime.
I think you said One Piece is the best anime, and that's pretty cool.
Okay, anyways,
Don't
Kalaris,
ask me about donuts. Or
what's your favorite type of donut?
I got 2 favorite types of donuts actually. I get a nice salted caramel donut, and I also get a bacon flavored donut in Krakow.
Wait, say that again. Maple bacon or bacon?
Just bacon.
Just
It's fantastic.
Was there bacon in it? Or was it like infused?
I'm gonna give them a free plug. Oh, nuts in Krakow. Go visit it. It's a good
Oh,
place.
yes. You know what? After this day's done, I'm headed over there. I'm going to go pick one up. I've actually
We'll
seen,
just
like,
fly over
maple,
there, you know.
I've seen maple donuts with bacon on it because maple syrup and bacon goes well together.
No, they just literally do bacon. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's also fantastic?
Me?
Spotify, who's actually
Oh.
one of our sponsors here. If you guys haven't,
Just
you
get
can
about
check
my
it out and download it. You know what? I use it all the time, traveling, at home, at the gym, because clearly I look like I go to the gym. I listen to them nonstop. So, Max, your favorite donut?
I'm going to be very boring and say
He's
just
going to
like
say a
a
croissant.
sprinkled. Can you qualify as? I mean, it's a
No,
weirdly
it's not a donut.
It's a failed donut. Okay, kind of in the shape. I love a baguette. Okay, it's pretty good. just stretch it.
That's
as, like,
weird.
you got
That.
it.
Oh.
I'll have a BLT. That's my favorite donut. So what is it?
Really,
Sprinkles?
yeah, just like sprinkled donut with just like sugar on top of it. It's just.
Okay, what kind of sugar are we
That's your
talking about?
favorite donut.
Yes, I'm a simple man.
To be
with,
fair,
like, simple tastes. I
In
don't
Europe, you don't really have like a great assortments of donuts. My personal favorite is actually the plain donut because it's
You
like
just said
slightly sweet.
You just said the same as him.
know. Like the
No,
sugar.
no,
The sugar is plain donut.
No,
Wait.
plain donut has no sugar on it. Has nothing on it. It's just the donut.
Why would you do that
Unbelievable.
to yourself?
It is delicious. You know what? I don't need to hear any more of this. Maybe we can bring in our casters here in a second as
Fair
we get
enough.
on into our 4th match of the day, and they could tell me what their favorite donut is. Because 7, I know in Texas you get some really good donuts. But ladies and gentlemen, we still have 3 matches left to go today. We are past our halfway point, but we're going to bring in our commentators for their first time of the day. We got Avenger and 7 Worlds Gaming.
Thank you so much, Jason. That was an amazing segment, especially about the donuts. I love donuts myself. But
your favorite donut?
my favorite one is the one with icing or frosting. You know, it's just a simple one. I'm like Jason. I like it just like a simple stuff. A little bit of maybe sugar sprinkled on top of it.
Yeah, I like the extra sugar. I just want it to be like filled with strawberries. That's what I'm into. That's what I want to be seeing.
All right, this is our first game and the fourth game of today. I am super excited to get this started 7 here. This has been some crazy games already, obviously, with all the regions, all the countries clashing, and 18 teams. That is a spanner in the works for me. It is so hard, especially with the amount of pressure that comes out. We saw some of the potential hot drops. And as the desk was talking about, you know, the rotations that we're seeing, the way that sometimes we're going to see the hot drops with the hard plane paths. And that is what I'm really interested in seeing once we get live here with game number 4.
Yeah, something that I really enjoyed that Max was talking about was just how this is going to be a normal Erangel in a way. This team's already kind of know what happened in the first one. I do want to see, though, if Vampire Esports can actually pull out another 24 alien win, or if any other team can beat them. I mean, Stalwart Esports right now, third place. I feel like
consistent.
I feel like they're destined to just have at least a win.
Yeah, I mean, if they can continue this consistency, it would be crazy. Also, if they continue getting all these eliminations, right? Because obviously, with 2 more teams available, there are those 8 points extra per game, and that's also why we potentially could see some, 25 plus elims wins out of this tournament here, and that's what I'm really excited for.
I have one for you while we're waiting for the game to start. Do you think we're going to see any team get over 30 elims in one match?
That would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. I would hope so, but because of how everything is going out, it has to be, I feel like, some of the start of the days, right? Because if it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, the teams are going to be more settled in. They're going to be knowing exactly where to drop, and also they will have all the information from day 1 that they can go back, look on, and see, all right, how do we improve for day number 2?
Yeah, I feel like that first game was just a perfect storm for that performance of Vampire.
Yeah, it was. And also how everything ended up being, how the rotations came in. Also, it's just, it is so wild to have these semi-urban endings where some of the teams, they're coming out from the bridges or from the north side, they have to cross water and get against all these obstacles here, and they're just able to do so. But 7, we are ready with the second angle of the day and the 4th game. So we're basically halfway through now. We're going to have 3 more total games, and this is going to be a fun one. Also, a pretty good plane path here. We're starting over Georgia Pole, and we're going to go down towards the southeast over Military Island.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the desk is going to be happy seeing this playing pad. This is actually more likable to me. I'm interested to see what the first zone is going to be like and how these teams are going to be reacting. And another thing that the desk was talking about, that Enigma Galaxy, like, this is a team that a lot of us expected a lot out of. And right now, they're a team that's currently sitting just with 2 points, and they didn't have one of the best starts either. That was the first team that was eliminated in this tournament. I'm hoping they can turn it around here on this match.
I hope so too here. But we are seeing some teams jump out. I'm curious to see if we're going to see some of these famous hot drops here, or some of the contests on the cars potentially that could become deadly. And let's see how many teams also end up going over to the Military Island to back-to-back, obviously going toward Farm and Milta. They're going to be pretty good on the eastern side. The question is also, are we going to have the circle? No, it's not going to be fine. We have a little bit of a chance here, 7. A little 20-25% chance that it could go south and be a real rough circle for these teams.
And this is when my toxic trait comes out. This is when I want to see that
Well,
excitement.
the worst possible.
Yes. I want that circle to go just in between. I want to see some water, okay? I want to have some of the military base, and I want to have some of the mainland as well. We already get some of the fights here. Atani Esports being able to get the knock there on 52 Pharaoh. This is a great start for Atani Esports, actually, because and something to point out, they have Cinetexa. They have a player from Brazil that has been added for this tournament. So I think it's time that we actually start seeing a good performance out of Atani Esports here on a global event.
Yeah, I would really love to, though. Let's see what they can do. They get another one down. Pain goes down. That's a lot of pain for him straight there. Here fighting in the God compound just west of the Godka area. And that's going to be a great start for Atan. Let's see what Daku can do here, though, 7. Is he going to be able to get down 1? No, just a quick peek.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be waiting patiently. You can see Cinetexa right now just flipping the buggy in the background. If this is going to be the time right now, Fran has to push that. Daku's going to just back off a little bit. They're going to be looking to reset. I think they has given enough time for Cinetexa to actually push up into them. There you go.
Oh, the backup. He gets in. Daku goes down. Cinetexa, fantastic backup coming in this situation here. A little bit of fire. Vaz, what is he able to do here for 52?
The good thing right now is that, I mean, Atan has everything going for them, right? They
100%.
have one of the 52 esports players just pretty much against the wall. what's going to happen here and how they're going to be able to approach this. You can see them, Choco trying to get that different angle, and how are they actually going to be able to push that? We have seen teams throw in a way this kind of pushes when it's just one player.
Oh, Vass, they are searching him though. Look at this, nice backup coming in, and they're just going to take him down. That is pretty damn amazing. Well played here by Atan, 52 out in first place.
Yeah. Talking about a great start, this is what I want to see out of Atan. I mean, they ended up with 5 elims in the first match, 3, and then in the past match, they only had 1 elim. 4 right off the bat. This is what you want to see.
All right, also here, Virtual Gaming Squad. Maybe have some information that there might be one of the players here from Vampire Esports. I don't think so, though. They're not really looking for him to just go away. The Glass House compound here is a really good one, but they have to rotate further, obviously, when the circle is further east.
Yeah, Vampire just playing it patient. Say, you know what? We're just going to be waiting and see what happens. Let's let them do their thing, and that's exactly what's going on. And, I mean, if you don't have to get into a fight this early on, just don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. But it feels like they have an idea, right? Because obviously he could be, he could have dropped close to it and then obviously been looting. But no, they are not gonna find him. He's gonna be fine here. Fluke.
The circle is gonna start closing in, though. I wanna see what 4 rivals is gonna be doing. I mean, they're currently towards the north in Bernie. With Vampire Esports, I think he's just gonna continue to stay down. He's gonna be super, super patient.
All right, let's see what the situation is going to be with the rotations. It is a pretty good circle. I want to see either a really rough one, we're talking military base 50-50, something like that, or a good center one, because on the Potato Hill, there is a lot of good areas to be fighting around these farms with the snake compounds. There's a lot of compounds that could be taken, and there's really basically just a lot of real estate that is available for these teams. So we could potentially see a lot of teams sending it in towards the center rather than what we've seen so far in the tournament. A lot of edge-heavy play, especially on Miramar. That's very, very edge-heavy. And obviously because also how this circle ended up being. Morph in Yasnaya.
And I mean, for the last game, Morph, what a performance, right? And we're talking about them. We're saying how that was a team that went from 0 points to hero points, being able to collect those 20, I think it was 22 points for them. That's what you want to see out of the Indonesian teams. I'm pretty sure a lot of people right now on YouTube are going to be doing Indo Pride. And next week, I mean, on the after party event, they're going to be also having Bigatron. So if more can actually make it there, I want to see that. I want to see those giants just battle each other.
Virtual Gaming Squad also fighting right now. Let's see how that's going to turn out as well. If it's just going to be one. Seoul did lose one player, Omega. And now the other guys from Team Seoul are leaving.
Just a lot of teams right now trying to scout, trying to figure out where they're going to be going. You can see Star Wars Esports finally starting to move a little bit. I think they're going to make sure that their bridge is going to be clear and they're going to be able to make a move for it. Right now, the amount of loot they're going to be able to get is going to be amazing. And I think this is great for them. Nobody bothers them at the start, right? And it looks like they're just going to have a clear path. If for some reason it does go to the main island, they're going to have a clear path. And I feel like this is why they're currently being able to be consistent. And I mean, Star Wars Esports, this was a team that, by a lot of people, they think that they are going to be the winners of this event. So I'm interested to see if that consistency, even though they don't have a chicken dinner yet, if that consistency is going to continue.
That is like 3 games back to back to back third. That is very impressive considering the format, how the teams are playing, the difference in teams. You're not playing a bit against your usual regional teams. You're not playing against teams that you usually know. So that is that's pretty impressive. And I think, especially the guys on the desk, they talk so much about Stalwart and how their expectations is high. Let's hope that Max is not here to curse them, but rather bless them together with Kylaris.
And one of the teams we were talking about earlier, Nigma Galaxy. I mean, right now, middle of Pachinki, with this circle, you're in a way you're kind of blessed. Just take your time, see what's going to happen. Nobody, more than likely, nobody's really going to be trying to push you. But you can see, you were talking about Potato Hill. Guess what? There's a lot of teams going there right now.
There is. It's a lot of good information to be taken from the high ground there. But also, you can't be... Some teams can be sneaking up. And right now, Seoul, they are pulling up here by the shacks. And Damwon Kia is lurking in the back. And they're already throwing some of the utility that way here. Fabian and Mates coming in. And then Seoul hears it. Goblin's the only one that's currently left in the back for it. Let's see if that's going to continue, if he's going to stay kind of an anchor, or at least just make sure that his teammates is going to get away safely and then he can leave as the last guy, or if they're going to contest Damwon Kia here on the high ground.
I think they were just scouting. Those two players on the card were trying to figure out, you know what, are we going to be able to use that advantage with Goblin being able to just kind of keep them focused there? It didn't happen. They decided to go back. Overall, Team Soul not being too aggressive, making sure they know where they want to go, and that's what you want to see at this stage.
Especially here, once we see the second circle pop, then they can decide, are we going to fight for it? Are we going to leave?
Yep.
Are we going to have to make a big rotation? And soon, 7, we are going to see the next circle here. And this is a big decider. We're going to see if the teams are going to have to stay or if they're going to be moving. A lot of teams still moving in. They're basically on the edge or just outside the circle. And then they're going to have to either continue for a very long time if it's a hard shift against them or if it's going to be a center circle. Right now, most of the teams would love a center shift.
Yeah, and with TJB, I mean, you see TJB now starting to move down to the south. They're like, okay, you know what? We had plenty of time to loot up. Let's actually move along. And something that I enjoyed there from Stalwart Esports, they were just waiting patiently. They made sure that they sent only one player across that bridge. They made sure nobody was waiting for them. And they were like, okay, it's clear. You know what? Just come our way. More than likely, it's not going to go to military base, even though, never mind.
You summoned it.
I'll take it. I was saying I wanted to bring out my toxic trait of it being in the middle. I mean, it's looking promising right now.
Yeah, it's also hard because the amount of water that is in play right now is making the vast majority of the center of the circle not playable unless you want to be in the water. But we're going to see a lot of teams come to this southern hill of the Pochinki. There's a big dip. There's some good trees to be played, but mainly 2 compounds. The pack compound and the double barn compound are going to be the main ones that are going to be fought for, and obviously some of the compounds west of farm. Let's see how some of the teams are deciding to do here.
One of the teams I'm currently looking at is Vampire Esports. I mean, they're just taking a way too long with time right there for me. What I would like to see, and you can see back-to-back, Killswitch, one of the main players actually getting eliminated. Oh man, that's going to hurt them big time. And this is, I got to bring up my NA trait now. I was hoping back-to-back would have good performances here. So far, after 3 matches, they had 7 points, not what you expect to see out of that team.
Oh, that's unfortunate for them. Hopefully they're able to step it up and especially learn towards. Now that you're casting them, maybe they're stepping up. No, Rankin's still taking some shots towards Stalwart. Pika goes out. It's going to be going down as well. That's 1 elimination saved for Rankins again. Good performance for them. 2.
And then you have J-Way just passing by. Oh, no. J7, please keep going.
Go away. No. That is so unfortunate. And a strong defense here for Rankins. Really good performance with them so far. They're sitting in a decent compound if it goes north-northeast, but they are not the most centered team right now. But they're going to be fine. They got some of the elimination points they wanted, and now they're able to secure this. Morph have heard that in the distance.
And the good thing there with Reagan's Gaming is, I mean, they were able to take full advantage of that. A lot of those teams weren't really expecting them to be there, and guess what? You end up being able to get 4 elims. That's not bad. At this point, that's not bad. You didn't lose a single player. You didn't have to heal. You didn't have to lose any utility. That's maybe one of the best stuff that you can expect out of a team.
Such a good start for them here, considering still have 17 teams remaining, 63 total players. And the Wildcats, they are guarding the bridge. And this could be really interesting because if we see a southern shift, worst case scenario, or for your toxic trade, what you hope for, then it's going to be a huge game for them. They could either get past fast, or they could be gatekeeping everyone that's going to be trying to go across on the western bridge.
And as we're seeing all of that, I'm also looking now back-to-back Polo. He's staying right there, very, very close to the water to see if he was going to maybe have to rotate to the military base because he's by himself now. That's going to be a very hard rotation, so it's interesting to see that. And then TJB, we saw that north to south rotation. Right now, they're not really having to worry about much. As I say that, Lin gets knocked.
Oh.
I'm just caster cursing this.
Yeah, it's just basically live caster cursing them, or it could be some of the other amazing casters that we have here in the arena. Obviously, so many languages is covering these amazing games, and we're gonna be seeing the next circle pop just shortly. And
Please,
then
madness.
You're hoping for chaos.
Yes.
For anarchy. And that would be the southern shift. Let's see if it happens.
I kind of wanted to go to military base now. I know earlier I said, and as I said that, it decides to stay just on the main island. Okay, well, we'll take that. We'll take that.
That's fine. And it's also pretty damn good for the majority of the teams because it is kind of center in the northern side. So the vast majority of the teams, they are already in a damn good spot. Soul, one of them, 4 rivals, also sitting pretty good. And as we're talking about, Enigma Galaxy, they need to have a good game now. They need to have this ball starting to roll for them. Otherwise, they're going to have a really rough day one, and it's going to be hard to catch up.
Yeah, with Nick McGalaxy, I mean, we were talking earlier about how they were in Pachinki, how they had everything going for them. And right now, I'm not able to even spot them. They're nowhere near to be found. Therefore, Rivals has actually taken over Pachinki, which is a great, great spot. And look at them. They're going to be able to catch people. If they're rotating, they're going to be able to cause some damage and at least back them up.
Let's see what Donuts is going to be able to get out of this one here. They're also sitting pretty in this situation. Obviously on the northern side of it, but still, they are holding on to quite a lot of real estate in this situation.
And if we do end up getting, for some reason, the circle just to end up a little bit towards the east-north, right, of Pachinki, where we have all those fields, I hope all these teams are just currently saving those utilities.
What I love the most about Donuts' position right there is that they're able to become the last team to leave the barns and then run up onto the hill and then basically clear the whole Pachinki east side hill. But Vampire is on the move. Let's see what they're able to do. They have Vivo Keat Stars in the distance. Let's see what the Brazilian guys are able to do. Obviously had the pressure of covering the PMPL Brazil, so I know what these guys are capable of, and they are huge fraggers.
Would you say Vivo Keat is your favorite team to win this?
Not favorite team to win it, but I definitely root a little bit for them because I know these guys are really, really good. But Adrian's going to be taken down, and I basically just counter what I just said. Unfortunately for Adrian.
We're talking about Caster Kirsten. We're seeing it here live, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening. Vivo Keat, after they watch that, they're just going to be absolutely hating us. But for Vampire Esports, they took their time. They waited to make sure they were going to get a clear shot. They actually had 3 players aiming down, and they were able to make sure they got that knock and finish that illim, which is it's something you want to see, because if we go back, Vampire Esports, on the first aerial, they were stealing a lot of illims.
Yeah, they were. They had only a few knockdowns, but secured a lot of eliminations and a lot of points through the steals there. Cielo is going to be moving towards Ravenclaw, and they're going to be having a rotation through the fields, try to maybe sneak in, get in under the skin of them, and maybe take a fight to them. Let's see what happens. He's just getting hit from every single side, and Ravenclaw is going to be able to take down Cielo and confirm the elimination here.
Yeah, that's just unlucky for Cielo. You can see the tire got popped, and then all of a sudden he just didn't know what to do. He tried to just switch seats. Maybe he could just snap on somebody. It was not going to happen. Vampire Esports right now is looking good. It might not be the 24 illims, right? But something might be happening for them.
Yeah, and the next circle here did shift slightly north, but still it maintained the vast majority of the land in play right now. So we're going to see a lot of teams fight for this next terrain coming up forward. TJB most likely going to be able to get the revive off here. Kist, a good situation. We see VGS as well. Virtual Gaming Squad fighting the Wildcats. Let's see what they're able to do right now. Ooh, utility being used.
Playing it slow. He's going to be able to be found. He is getting knocked. Where's his other teams trying to get the flank? And they're going to be able to. Can they knock him? He's still staying alive somehow. Avenger.
That is wild. Virtual Gaming Squad with a lot of pressure from the side as well. Boron, half HP, one more. No, he gets countered. Oh my god. That is insane. Super well played by the Wildcats here. We can hear our Turkish colleagues going absolutely crazy next to us. And one shot is down to a 1 versus 1 right now with Boron. Let's see who's going to be able to take it home for them.
Wildcats. I mean, Boron, with that kind of angle, that saved their team. You could see what Virtual Gaming Squad was doing. They were trying to get different angles. They were trying to rotate around them. But Boron said, you know what? I can actually see you. Doesn't matter what you're trying to do. It's not going to work. And he ended up working out wonders for them. Hopefully, he can pick up his squad right now and secure those elimination points.
Oh, he's actually going to go off. The blue
nope.
zone is pushing them. Nope. Boron's going to try to maybe secure the points. Zone is coming in. Garavi taking some shots, but no. And this means Wildcat's going to lose a few players. Boron is going to try to get into a situation where he can play as a solo, but it's going to be hard. A lot of the terrain ahead of him here, 7 is taken already.
And with Virtual Gaming Squad, I mean, they do decide to wait and actually revive those players. I wonder if that's going to hurt them long term. We'll see what happens with them. And we do have Team Falcons here going up against Morph. The winners of the last game. Can Morph continue on this trend? Team Falcons, I mean, a surprising start out of that team too. They ended up in 2nd place in Miramar. Was not expecting that, but I love to see it.
Yeah, back-to-back out in 17th. And, of course, the Wildcats out in 16th, and now Stalwart out in 15th place. And we came in and we say, all right, it's so impressive to see them back-to-back 3rd place. But now they are going to have their bad game of the day. Maybe we'll see the next few games they're going to be having a combat. Let's see what Falcon is going to be able to do in this situation here. 7. They're putting a lot of pressure onto Damwon Kia.
Yeah, and with Damwon Kia, I'm intrigued. I mean, you also have Box Gaming that's currently of the horizon. I wonder if they're going to be able to push up on that. Falcon, it is currently spread out a good bit. It will be interesting to see if they are going to be willing to take this fight onto Damwon Kia with Falcon Yusuf. Just, 47 bullets in the Dream. I'm pretty sure he might be able to catch somebody off rotating. They just have to be careful, make sure that nobody sneaks up on them. And here we go, getting some shots, putting out his position. And is he going to be able to secure? Oh, he's not. And then we have TJB Esports EU getting eliminated as well. What's going on?
It's a wild game already. Damwon Kia putting some pressure on it. Now also,
he ended up backfiring. Remember, I was telling you if it was going to backfire for Virtual Gaming Squad?
It did.
It did.
Yeah, it took too long time. They have to finish their fights fast. And now Falcon putting on some pressure onto Damwon Kia. Forest goes down. Let's see what Dama is going to be able to do here with the DP28. Only a level 1 helmet. So it takes much more damage and durability on it, though. Falcon under pressure from multiple sides. New circle has popped, and as gone northeast. When we were talking about it, Donut, they were potentially going to be able to have a massive game from this, and they have the center compound 7.
They do, and I'm intrigued to see what Team Soul's going to do right now. They're currently sitting in the middle of that field, or kind of close towards the mountain. I want to see if they're going to have to rotate or how they're going to set themselves up. If they have any vehicles also for cover, because I know in those areas, you don't have any vehicles, and this is what happens to Soul Esports. Oh, man, we wanted to see that consistency. Wow. It didn't end up happening.
Yeah, that's crazy. Regans are able to sweep and take control of the southern side of the circle, and they're continue to do so. Now Falcon's putting some pressure onto Damwon Kia. Takes down Song. Amazing.
Damar, that's what you want to see out of Team Falcon.
So
Don't
impressive.
Be scared. Take those shots, Martin.
So impressive. Now Box also trying to get in, and the eastern side is going to get more and more occupied with both Falcon and Box. As you see here on screen, powerful. Putting more pressure onto Box, trying to push them away from their edge, making sure that they have the control.
That Box Gaming pushing up to the rock just in time. I mean, Yusuf right now, he wants some elims. He wants those points.
Falcon still in this situation, putting on pressure for this.
Yusuf, I mean, Team Falcon, they went from probably ended up getting some great amount of limbs to now just backing off a little bit, playing it safe, and kind of like to see it. And then when they see the opportunity, they go for it. This is what you want to see out of Team Falcon. I mean, Yusuf being able to get those knocks. Can they confirm that Ilum? That's going to be the big question mark. You can see them trying to rotate. Box Gaming now is starting to get pushed from behind by RSG. I'm not sure, Avenger here, who is going to come out on top. I mean, Box Gaming, I'm actually surprised that they're still alive.
Yeah, they are under so much pressure from Falcon right now, and they continue to survive. And Reckons also continuing into that. And it's kind of helping that they're in this dip here, because now that means that Reckons is also putting pressure onto Falcons. They want all of it. Reckons really taking control on the eastern side from the south.
And guess what? It's helping out Team Falcon right now, because they're going to have to, at some point, they're going to have to just give up this fight. You're going to have a disadvantage too. And there's so much more stuff going on right now with other teams that they need to be careful. You don't want to focus too much right now on our side circle. You have to do it, but wow, those shots. I mean, as I'm saying that, Team Falcon just keeps proving me wrong. They're able to get those shots. They're able to get those ilms, and it's currently working for them.
Yeah, all right. Let's see what Falcons can do here. They are moving a bit around. They're trying to get out of this, but Reckons just putting on some pressure on them, but they're losing out as well. Means that Reckons is probably going to go out soon. Vivo keyed out in 8th place here with just 1 elimination. Falcon able to survive this is a mystery to me, 7.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out wonders for them, right? They were able to hit those shots. That's pretty much what it came down to, and they were able to become aggressive when they needed to be. They saw some knocks, they went for it, but this is, I feel like this is maybe when they needed to just try to move on from that fight. Try to see what's going on over that hill and try to locate themselves. Where are you going to go after this, right? What is your next move?
Exactly. They want to make sure of Reckons are getting out here. Vampire taking control of this shack here. Super important for them. We have 4 rivals in the distance there, moving across the field. Shots are coming onto them. That's a knock as well. Super well played by Schweppes. Nice shots coming in. And also, without us seeing Nick McGalaxy being able to take some of the bunkers area, that is just so important for them. Now, Freak putting on some pressure onto the Vampire Esports guys.
And at this point, if you do have any grenades, Nick McGalaxy, please start throwing them. You know exactly where he's going to be at. You know he can't move out of there. Vampire Esports is a team that you don't want lingering behind you because they're just going to come and strike. And this is what I'm talking about. Let those grenades roll in. The shots, too.
Super well played by Freak and Nick McGalaxy. This rotation, this is a macro call to get into the bunker. They saw potentially open. All they did a blind rotate. Then they got in and took control of it. 4 guys alive, and they're now trying to make sure that they can close this game out after a rough day 1 here. But game 4 is looking really good for them.
Vampire Esports is able to pick up that player. They are able to recover a little bit. Are they going to be able to get those seals? And then, as I was mentioning, Nick McGalaxy still needs to be careful with them. That is a very strong team, as you can see right now. Even though they might be pinned, Vampire Esports players are trying to get those ilms so they can move forward.
Rolf has an idea that Ravenclaw is there. Oh, nice! This is crazy good utility usage here for 4 rivals. Let's see if they're able to close some of it out. A lot of damage is being put out. Another one is found. Oh, it's actually finished off. Lappy's being taken up on stone, though, now, and he's being finished off, too, with another elimination for Vampire Esports. USG coming out of the barns. They're putting on pressure from the north side. Falcon still alive on the east.
And guess what? Vampire Esports says, you guys decided not to eliminate us. Well, guess what? Now it's time that we put that pressure on them. And Donuts, USG, helped them out big time, too. This is what happened with Nick McGalaxy. I was hoping they would finish off that fight early. It didn't happen. And now we do have Team Falcon. Hopefully they can start picking some people off from here.
Oh, that's a headshot straight to the level 3 helmet. Donuts are not taking anything off it. Missile sends bullets raining his way. And that's going to be a really rough situation for Falcons, trying to get the revive off, but the pressure from multiple sides are coming off. Reckon still trying to sneak in, but the circle shifted north 7 straight onto Donuts and Nick McGalaxy.
And with all these teams distracted by Team Falcon, this is actually going to work wonders for Regan's gaming. You can see them just little by little crawling, but hey, it's going to work out for you. And right now, you're going to see, 3 players from Vampire Esports. You do have 1 player from 4 rivals just laying down and playing patiently. This is going to be absolute madness. And as I say that, Regan's, no, RSG player gets eliminated. He was spotted.
Yeah, that's Regan's out in 9th or 6th, and with 9 eliminations, that's great for them. But Donuts, only team with 4 alive. They're probably going to be able to put a lot of pressure on the rest, and then they'll see if Vampire and Nigma, they're able to withstand this pressure, or what's going to happen here. Falcons, 10 eliminations in 5th place here. Such an honorable placement for them with the amount of points they're going to be able to get out of this one.
Yeah, I would say that was actually a great game for them, with considering how many fights they got on.
And also the terrain they came from.
Yes, and they did have to end up rotating a little bit left. I mean, a little bit late here on this final circle, which kind of hindered them. But for them to be able to get at least those 10 kills is going to be wonders. And then we have Donuts. I think this might actually work out wonders for Donuts. I think that might be my favorite.
Oh,
but Vampire.
5 rivals as well coming in. Stone takes down Amodia. That's actually Nick McGalaxy out. They were in the middle. They got sandwiched completely in this situation. And this is such a good thing for Donuts now. Missile gone down. Oh, no. Rivals gone out too. We're just down to Donuts, and it looks like a Donut game, this one.
We were talking about it before this game actually started. Well, guess what? It's bound to happen. Vampires, though. Vampire Esports, I am so impressed with the way they have been able to work out this final circle, the way they were able to put some extra pressure on Nick McGalaxy, even when they had some of their players down. This is great stuff, and if they can get another chicken dinner on Erangel, oh, man, that's going to secure a big spot for them at the top.
All right, they're trading revives in this situation. Want to get everyone up top again. And the question is, how is it going to end up? Looking violently out. The circle actually went away from both teams here in 7 this situation. Donuts has to come in from the northern side, try to use some of the utilities, some of the smokes to try to get in. Vampire has a little bit more of the terrain, but Naoto has some cover. Let's see how much they have to work with. There's also a crate inside the circle, so that could be worked as hard cover instead of the soft cover that smokes provide.
It will be, and even though they are throwing up those smokes, right? They're sending up the smoke line. I do like Naoto. It's currently going to have a little bit of a higher ground advantage over some of these players, so he might be able to spot something if he just jumps. and sees them rotating. As we say that, Ravenclaw being able to get the knock. I mean, if you're going to push this time, and he is going to do that, he's going to try to just get cover behind that crate that you were mentioning, and now it becomes down to who is snaking on their path and who's going to be able to get the next knock. Vampire, though, so aggressive. Look at them. They're not wasting any time. They know they currently have the advantage in regards to one of the players was knocked, but then it backfires. One of the Molotovs from Naoto, one of the players I was telling you, being able to get the angle. What's going on here, Vampire? You guys had it going for you.
Yeah, the opening knock was important, but they're putting a lot of pressure onto them and just making sure they stay back there. Oh, it's going to be good for Donuts. They're going to go in and they're going to get it. It's a game for Donuts. USG, what a great one. But Vampire able to get another great game here on Wrangle 7.
Yeah. They didn't get the win, but that sends a statement to me. That sends a statement in regards to being able to keep their composure. And for Donuts, too, they did get the chicken dinner, and the composure that they were able to hold off there at the end. I think Naoto being able to get that top angle, being able to have the height advantage, I felt like that was a big-time play for that player.
Yeah, and Donuts being able to get out of the compound. They're playing like they are planning to. They want to stay 4 guys alive. They want to get into the circle slowly and obviously close it out. And you can see here, that 4-player advantage versus being only versus 3 players, that's huge. That is what won them the game. Vampire had the upper hand, but Donuts is able to close it out.
And one of the teams that is going to be saying what could have been is going to be Enigma Galaxy.
Yeah.
They had the perfect spot, and then everybody just ended up crashing